What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stocks to Watch. And today there is a very big event which has happened in America, and that has caused havoc in the markets, meaning it's very good for the bulls. So let me just quickly show that to you before I kind of get started. So this is the intraday chart of what happened today in the American markets, and thanks to the US Fed. Once the US Fed, dictated their views about the inflation, the US bond market swaps were pricing in that the rate cuts could come in much earlier than expected. Now, what does that mean? That rate cuts means more money flow in the economy, and that means that essentially resonates and translates into higher stock prices and higher growth. So, long story short, we got this big move after US inflation data came in, and we've also seen something similar happening in gold and silver as well. So this is what happened in gold. After a small correction, even gold tried to jump really, really nicely. And I think same happened with silver as well. So more or less, there has been lots of action happening in the overall global markets. Now, what does it, how does it help India? How does it help the Indian markets? Let's quickly find that out. Now, before I get started with Nifty and Bank Nifty and the game plan, if you are new here, make sure that you are subscribing to the channel. And if you like the content, do hit the like button. Now, let's get started with the mainstream indices, Nifty and Bank Nifty. Now, today was Bank Nifty's expiry, and Bank Nifty didn't really do anything after probably the first 15-20 minutes of the market. So this is the only area where we saw some kind of momentum, like post 10 o'clock, post 11 o'clock, I would say. This is just chop. This is also very, very choppy. So there was nothing really to be done over here. Now, we were anticipating that there is going to be a move on the short side, and that's exactly how it played out. I think we made it very clear there's not going to be any long-sided play. It's going to be a short-sided play, and that is exactly what the markets did. Now, coming back to the game plan for Bank Nifty. Now, since America and the global markets are trading higher, I am expecting that we might open a little on the upside, maybe a 200-300 point gap up. And once we gap up, I think then we will unlock the doors to probably 49,000 levels. So I think this is going to be a good supply to kind of keep a track on. So I think that's good. Now, HDFC Bank, if I talk about the, heavyweights in terms of the banking pack, now let's go to ICICI Bank, making a nice little base. So I think this is ready to move higher tomorrow. Let's look at State Bank of India, another heavyweight in Bank Nifty. Again, it's just hovering around these levels. So not very bullish, but I think if the markets are going to do really, really well, I think even this could start moving. And last but not the least, HDFC Bank, which is again reacting from an area of demand. So remember, we took this trade. I think we spoke about this as well. Now it has come back to the area of demand. So now overall, what we see is Bank Nifty is poised to go higher, and I think bulls are going to make a comeback and a solid one. Now let's talk about Nifty now. Now, Nifty is a little tricky, and, I think we spoke about this earlier as well. Same thing happened in Nifty, post, I think, 10:30. This is just a chop. The markets really chopped everyone out. There was no momentum altogether. So option sellers made a bounty over here. Now, what I feel is we have already reacted from this area of supply, and I think the overall bias of the entire market is bullish. But technically speaking, I think we might want to revisit this area before we kind of do like a big rally. So I think what's there in my mind is that maybe just because of the sentiment, we might inch higher, sweep the lows, sweep the highs over here, move towards this area, and then probably start taking supply. And then I think we are headed for like a pullback, maybe until here. And then this is what Nifty is very likely to do. Essentially from a liquidity perspective. So I think that is the game plan that I'm going to be having for Nifty. So now again, there's no clear directional play in the index from a technical front, but from a bias perspective, I think we are all bulls. Now, stock-specific action, again leading the pack. So I'll just first go and show you what exactly happened to the stocks that we had on our watch list from yesterday. Hitachi Energy Systems, Hitachi Energy India up 10%, TD Power Systems up 6%, Sona Comstar, we spoke about OEMs, did really well. Indigo, we spoke about. Manyavar, we've been speaking about for the last 3-4 days. Balu Forge tried to move higher. It did do a shakeout. So I think this is also ready to kind of move tomorrow as well. So I think this is again, a stock which is pretty much set up to kind of move higher. ABFRL, Persistent, we spoke about. IT, NTPC, we've got, very good setup building up in PGIL as well. So we will probably have this on our watch list for tomorrow as well. Same thing with IFCI. BAL moved a little decently, India Bulls Housing Finance, and then rest, everything was kind of flat. So stock-specific action, again, I think could lead the markets tomorrow as well. So I think there is a lot of action. Now, I'll just show you what our members essentially did. So today I had, a 38,000 rupee loss. I got chopped out in the market. I was trading Nifty and Bank Nifty. So for me, it was a red day. But the community basically made about 10 or 5%, and lots of good moves were captured. So I'll just show you. The first one was Rolex rings. So we spoke about Rolex rings in the watch list video 3 or 4 days back. We caught this entire move, and our analysts kind of took this trade. Apart from that, we also caught a move in I think Jubilant, right? So this is the trade in Jubilant Pharmova. Very nice little move, 5-hour kind of a trade in that one as well. So overall, it was a really good day in terms of cash, in terms of the cash market. GR Infra also, we were having a good watch on GR Infra projects as well. So I mean, everything was really good from a perspective that the cash market is kind of more attractive than the indices at the moment. Now, let's get started with the watch list for tomorrow and the stocks that we are going to be watching out for. So let's quickly go here on 16th of May. Let's start with Surya Roshni. So on the daily chart, tapping into an area of demand, up 5% today, reacted from this order block. I think it is set for a continuation move. Triveni Turbines is making a nice little flat base near the moving averages. Earnings are expected to come out, I think, on Friday, which is day after. So keep in mind. Jubilant Pharmova, we already traded this, but the base is still ready for another upside move with the volume dry up. So, this is exactly what I like to see. A volume dry up with a nice little base with moving averages kind of contracting around the highs. Go Colors is an IPO name which is like a value demand play because this is kind of trading at like a multi-week low at the moment. Not the strongest stock, but I think what Car Trade has done, even Car Trade was like a similar example where Car Trade was kind of dead, trading near the lows, but then it reacted from that area of demand and then just did wonders. So keep that on your radar. Prestige, another one from the real estate pack, very nice little tight consolidation, looks really nice. Cyient again from the IT pack, starting to finally move. Patanjali, we spoke about Patanjali, I think 1 or 2 days back. Today earnings were really bad, but still the markets reacted positively. Carborundum Universal, I think this is one of my favorite names for tomorrow. I think this is just setting up very beautifully, very high momentum, outperforming the markets. NLC India, the other name, which is looking decent. Phase 3, a very nice pace over here. So I think this is also going to be pretty interesting. Bharti Airtel came out with numbers. The numbers weren't that great. The street seemed to be very convinced with the management commentary. So Bharti Airtel, again, something's going to be on the radar. Godavari Power, pretty average. But I think TCI, I think this is the one which could be the underdog. Now, earnings are, I think earnings came out today. The markets did not really react a lot, but with the base that is being set up, I think tomorrow we could have like a nice move. Next up is Pearl Global. I think we spoke about this already. IFC and Pearl Global continuing from yesterday's watch list. AkzoNobel India, I think very nice base. Again, earnings tomorrow. So this is going to be interesting to see on how this reacts. Happy Forgings, again, setting up really nicely with the, nice little base over here. Recent IPO name. Going to be interesting to see how it works. Johnson Controls, again, pretty decent. Laurus Labs, REPL, which is Rudrabhishek Enterprises Limited, small cap name, reacting from an area of demand. Interesting. Garware High Tech Films, again, kind of swept everybody out of the move. So over here, you can see this liquidity sweep. And now maybe the stock is ready to move higher. Now, the reason I don't like it that much is there's lots of supply. But from a setup perspective, I think this is decent. ICICI Bank setting up nicely, a very tight little range from an order block, and this will play a very big role in Bank Nifty moving higher. Next up is Century Ply. I think we've had this stock, on our radar from a long period of time. Kotak Mahindra Bank, another one which I think could be insane because there is a big gap to be filled, overreaction from the markets. So I think this is pretty much ready to kind of surge higher, Kotak. So I would be really interested to see on how this performs, and especially since we all know that Bank Nifty is preparing for an up move, this is going to be interesting. RR Cable is preparing for a move from this base. The supply is a concern for me, but if there's a nice contraction, I think we could attempt. Bajaj Holdings and Investments, again, continuing to be on our watch list, hasn't really moved. Maybe it starts moving tomorrow. Then Signet Industries, again, there is some supply on the top. The basing is decent. It's going to be interesting to see on how it plays out. Persistent, very nice. I think we've been speaking about Persistent for the last 4 days, I think, continuously. And Persistent has finally moved, up 2%. And I think from the last 3 days, I think from the lows, stock is up 6%, which is good for the IT space. Next up, we've got Tata Elxsi again, another one from the IT pack. And now just see how these mid-cap IT companies and all of these stocks we've spoken about in the Stocks to Watch series from the last 2-3 days. This is also moving nicely. UBL about to react from an order block. I think it's going to be a good time with the elections coming up. I think the theme goes well really nicely. Volume dry up, coming back over here. Earnings are already out. So I think there could be some action over here. And last but not the least is Mahindra. Now, I've been screaming about buying Mahindra as a positional buy from the last 4 episodes. And I think this is just started. And I think until the upcoming Diwali, I think this is at least going to zoom 40-50% from the current market price. So these are the stocks that I'm going to be watching out for tomorrow. Do let me know which stocks are you going to be watching out in the comments below. And do hit the subscribe button and the like button if you appreciate the efforts that we put in to help you out building and becoming super traders. I wish you all the best for your trading day tomorrow. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye and take care.